What is up, everybody? We're back here at King Film Sports for another March Madness related video, and again, some more betting locks. This one is for the first round, specifically on Saturday, and as I'm recording this video, we just ended the first four, the day of first four, and what good games. A little appetizer for what's coming up the next 2 days. These are the best 2 days in the sporting calendar, the first round for March Madness. And let's recap my first four betting locks. I'm going to keep track of all of my betting locks, see my record at the end of March Madness. And so far, starting it on a good note as Drake, Wichita State. I got Drake at +2. They ended up winning by 1. The line at game time was actually Drake -2. So if you had that one, rip, because they didn't cover at game time. But when I got it, they did. Norfolk State +3. That did hit. As Norfolk State almost blew an 18-point lead, but ended up coming out on top, so didn't even need the points. UCLA obviously winning in overtime over Sparty, and the under was abysmal. And to add salt into the wound, there was also overtime. It missed by like 40-something points or whatever. But we're 3-1 on the day, and looking to keep our winnings going. On to the West region on Saturday. First game here, we have Oklahoma versus Missouri, and 8-9 matchup here. Give me Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, plus the 1 point in the first round here. Both of these teams are very similar in the manner that they ended their season, just terrible. These two teams could have been like top 3 or 4 seeds at some points in the year they were projected to be, but just ended it so bad. Oklahoma could not win against the good Big 12 team for the last couple weeks. Missouri was blowing games, losing to subpar SEC competition. Missouri is just such an inconsistent team. They were able to get some great wins over the course of the season over teams like Arkansas in the SEC, but really they just didn't have the consistency that I want to see. In Oklahoma, I feel like they were playing very close games against good Big 12 competition. They just weren't able to pull a lot of them out. I think they're still a bit underseeded at the 8 here, even though they didn't end the season in the right way. So give me Oklahoma as a dangerous contender in this March Madness bracket. I have them plus the 1 point. Lock it in. Next game, we have 4 seed Virginia on upset alert against Ohio, as I have the Bobcats plus the 8 points. And I absolutely love this one as Virginia is off of a COVID pause. Knocked them out of an ACC tournament where they did not look very impressive in their one game against Syracuse. They needed a buzzer beater to beat a team in Syracuse that probably shouldn't have even made the tournament, to be honest. You're giving me 8 points in Ohio. A great team, very underrated. MAC champions, and they have Preston, the point guard. I think he's going to light it up in this game. I'm not guaranteeing an Ohio win, but I'm taking 8 points. I think this is a great bet. This Ohio team is probably the best bet for a 13 seed in this tournament, in my opinion, as teams off of COVID pauses this year are not great, and especially Virginia is going to be greatly impacted by it because they are a team that plays together. They need to have continuity, and they're just not going to have that, as they're not going to be able to practice for over a week coming into this matchup. They're obviously the superior team in talent, but with all the circumstances here and Preston the guard for Ohio, give me them plus the 8 points. Next matchup, we have the Creighton Blue Jays, 5 seed against 12 seed UCSB, and give me the Gauchos plus the 7 points. And here's why. I'm not very confident in UCSB's defense, but neither am I confident in Creighton's offense. They were absolutely anemic in the Big East tournament, in which they only put up 59 against UConn. That's a tournament team, a 7 seed. And then they only put up 48 points in the championship, in which they absolutely got wiped by a Georgetown team that is a big bandit. Lost by 25, whereas UCSB is so hot right now. They beat UCD in the semifinal for the Big West by 16, and then they crushed UC Irvine, which was a great team, by 16 in the championship. McLaughlin is a great scorer and a great point guard for this team. I think he'll lead them possibly to a victory in this game, but mainly for me within the 7 points here. Next and final game within the Western region, we have the Oregon Ducks -5 against VCU. Quite honestly, I don't have much respect for the A-10 conference. I think they've been overrated all year, and I think the Pac-12 has been underrated all year, and specifically Oregon at the 7 line. I think they are a much better seed than this 7 seed indicates. I mean, they were just covering machines near the end of the season. They were on such a roll until the Pac-12 tournament, where they obviously got bounced by an Oregon State team, which was just blazing hot in that tournament. And then you look at VCU, I think they are a much worse team than St. Bonaventure, and that was exemplified where they got blown out, and that championship was not even close. So VCU also only played one game in the last 2 weeks. I think that's going to come back to bite them. Give me Oregon -5. They have tournament experience. They went to the Sweet 16 in 2019 as a 12 seed. Here as a 7 seed, I think they can make a similar type run. And mainly in this matchup, I love them to blow out the VCU Rams. Next, we go into the East region. And first here, we have another A-10 team in St. Bonaventure going against LSU. And give me the LSU Tigers -1 point. LSU has always been a dynamic, great offensive team, great shooting team throughout the season. It was really their defense that was their kryptonite all throughout the season. But they finally got it in check in the SEC tournament with great wins. They knocked out Ole Miss in the first round and then handed it to Arkansas in the semifinal, barely losing to Alabama in the championship. They definitely should have won that championship, in my opinion. I think they are much underseeded at the 8 spot, being as well-rounded as they are, and then facing off against this St. Bonaventure team, which does have a pretty good record at 16-4, and are 14-5 against the spread, which is pretty scary. But I just don't think they match up well against a Power 5 team like LSU, which is probably one of the hottest teams out of the SEC. And definitely one of the scariest. So give me the LSU Tigers to win this matchup. Next, we go to a great game between 12-seed Bid Bandit Georgetown and 5-seed Colorado. And I have a lot of respect for Colorado. I've watched a lot of their games in the Pac-12 this season, but I know where to pick them and I know where to fade them. And this is prime fading opportunity. Give me the Georgetown Hoyas +6.5. First off, to start out with Georgetown, they are a very hot team, compiling 4 straight wins in the Big East tournament, including against the crippled Villanova squad. But then also, as I mentioned, they blew the doors off of Creighton in the final. By 25 points, they won. They're finally getting their shooting together, and they're playing for their coach, Patrick Ewing. They are desperate. They are fiery. They are feisty. I think they're going to give it all they have in this one. They certainly aren't as talented as Colorado, and they don't have the continuity, or at least haven't had it for as long. But I think they're going to keep it close. Colorado, they are the best free throw shooting team in the nation, and if this one is close at the end of the game, I am a bit scared that Colorado makes all their free throws and they cover 6.5. But Colorado, they have been able to beat great teams this season. They knocked off a great USC team 3 times this season in the regular season, but against these subpar teams, they are just not good. You saw in the quarterfinal of the Pac-12 tournament, they nearly lost to Cal, which is an abysmal 11 seed. Then they quite evidently lost to a Bid Bandit in Oregon State, which I think closely models this Georgetown team. So I think Colorado could be troubled here if they get into a close game with Georgetown, who are playing great basketball at the moment. Final game in this East region, you go down a little bit in your bracket and you find Florida State and UNCG. And same type of thing. I think Florida State is a great team when they are hot. However, they have not been playing good basketball as of late. So give me the Spartans of UNCG plus the 11 points. I think Miller has been a great leader at the point guard position for this UNCG team. They absolutely ran through the Southern Conference tournament. All the teams they played, they won by at least 10 points. And I think quite simply they've been undervalued by Vegas all year, 17-12 against the spread. You can take them money line, but I just really like this as a close game. Stick to the trends. FSU is usually just not a good team in the tournament, or especially in the first rounds of the tournament. I can remember a lot of times where they've been picked to go very far and lose first round. You think back to 2017 where they were a 3 seed and lost to 11 seed Xavier off the bat. They always have NBA type talent, but can they put it together in the tournament is the big thing. And especially when you see they were too close against a UNC team that is not as it usually is. They're an 8 seed. And then they lost a 9 seed in the tournament, Georgia Tech, in the ACC tournament. I just don't know that their defense can keep UNCG in check. So give me the points here with UNCG. I don't think they'll pull off the upset, but the 11 sounds very nice to me at this moment. So comment down below your Saturday first round predictions and locks. Send me any March Madness concepts or ideas or locks that you have. I want to know, and I will see you all in the next one.